Brussels. Who's ready for some BMX today?
Get loud for me. Get loud for me. Hands in the crowd, we tearing it down. Get loud for me.
Hello everyone and welcome to this third stop of the UCI BMX Freestyle World Cup. Today, this contest is being held at the Urban Sessions in the beautiful capital of Belgium. We're here live in Brussels. My name is Egon and today I'm co-hosting with a true Brussels local, Stan Hens.
Thank you, Egon. I'm very excited to be here at the second edition of the Brussels Urban Sessions right here in beautiful Josaphat Park, located in the heart of Brussels. And as you can see on the screen right here, there's so many beautiful aspects of Brussels. We have the Atomium, and here's an overview of the skate park located at the Josaphat Park, built by Hurricane Skate Parks.
So right now we're at the district of Schaerbeek in Brussels, and as you can see here, it's a beautiful, luscious park, lots of greenery, and the riders have been enjoying it so far.
Yeah, and this Hurricane Skate Park is built on the backdrop of beautiful Josaphat Park, green heart of the city. And there's some amazing features of this skate park.
So if we're going to take a quick rundown of the whole skate park. So as you can see, we got this spine step down. It's really high, close to like 4 meters high.
Yeah, and you've got the Spox, which is a combination of the spine and a box jump, a step-up box jump, a regular classic box jump, and there's also a lot of wall features here. As you can see, a quarter pipe, the UCI quarter pipe, which is joined by 2 banks on either side, which is really nice for riders that want to try and get those progressive air tricks in.
Now, the thing we've been hearing from a lot of the riders is how complicated this park is in means of how hard they have to go. But for the semifinals, if it's your first time watching the semifinals like these at the World Cup, here's how it goes. We got 24 riders in 4 heats of 6 riders each, and they're gonna get 2 runs of 60 seconds. Now, in the semifinals, it is both runs that count towards the finals to get that spot in the finals.
Yes, Egon. And the judges here will be looking at a lot of different things. They will take a lot of different things into account.
I mean, it's been a heavy weekend already. Like yesterday, we had a whole day of riding for the qualifiers to narrow it down to the selection of 24 riders in both men and women. Now, looking at the criteria, Stan, what do you have to say about that?
There are a lot of different things these judges will have to be looking for. Difficulty of tricks, obviously, the height at which the riders are going, the flow of the overall run, the creativity, the variety, and also something very important the judges won't like to see pedaling in between, the execution of the tricks and the overall look of the run.
So that is going to be a lot of calculations to do for the judges that we have here. And we got some of the top-notch judges that UCI has sent over here to Brussels to take a look at what the riders have to offer on this skate park. A lot of heavy riding has gone down already. Yesterday we had the qualifiers. The riders still keeping some in that reserve tank, you know, to show what they got today and claim that spot to the finals. I mean, even the big guys are like taking it down a notch just to perform today.
And it shouldn't be underestimated what it takes to fill up a whole minute of world-class riding. It's very intense. It's almost like you're doing a calisthenics workout. Here we go, the judges panel of today. Head judge, Brian Kaczynski from the USA, street legend himself, a staple in BMX, Igor Vukadinovic, Axel Jurgens, Luka Kovic, and Christy Liu out of Great Britain. These judges will be heading the task of judging the riders.
They're also being joined by the UCI officials Bart de Jong and Sityari Pratomo. So they're going to keep an eye on the technical aspect of this competition and make sure that everything goes in a good order here today. Now, if you're watching, please do get involved. We have our several social medias, but first we're going to take a look at that start list today. So based on the qualification from yesterday, these are our starting riders, the first 12 that we see here.
Yes, and as you can see, there's a lot of Americans in there, a lot of English people. Rimo Nakamura out of Japan. We also have a 15-year-old out of Japan. And of course, the whole Australian delegation got qualified, which is really impressive.
Like, these riders were putting everything on the line yesterday to get into that top 24. I've seen some riders on social media commenting on their own runs afterwards, saying like they should have tried a bit harder. And even though they did their best, the judges really made a good choice for these riders.
Yes, and what's also really important to know is that right now it's really sunny, it's really hot, but we just had a massive rain, which got the semifinals for women like fell into the rain. So what this means is that if today is the only semifinals for the men, like the finals won't go through because of rain, this will be the scoring for them. So very important to keep in mind for these riders that if tomorrow's finals doesn't go through, these scores will count.
So taking that into consideration, we're gonna try and get the energy to you guys at home. Please do get involved through the hashtags. We got hashtag FeesWorld, hashtag Fees, hashtag Fees FWS 2023, and of course, hashtag BMX Freestyle WC, and hashtag Brussels Urban Sessions. First rider up is going to be Gustavo Oliveira, all the way from Brazil.
Yeah, and the only guy to qualify from Brazil, so he's repping Brazil out there.
Let's take a look at that run.
Yeah, beautiful 360 tail whip to bar spin, backflip, double bar spin over that spine step down, tail whip to tuck no-hander. Wow, what a great way to start this run. Tuck no-hander, turn down.
Really kicking off this contest with a really solid run so far. Oh, triple bars. Backflip, tail whip. Oh, as you can see, that jump box is unforgiving. You need all your speed.
Yo, and that was a perfect double truck over it. He cased a little bit on that backflip tail whip, but he kept it going, didn't even put his foot down. His foot slipped a little bit, but didn't put his foot down. That's something the judges will be looking for. Yeah. Look back.
Repping the colors for Brazil. Brazilian champion Gustavo Batista de Oliveira.
Nice little knack to lock things in.
Casually ending it with that flare. Solid first run for Gustavo.
Yeah, really, really good. The way he started off was really solid. He packed in like 4 big tricks in 10 seconds or something. That was really impressive.
Now, being one of the first riders at one of these competitions, you have to keep in mind that the judges will use your riding as a benchmark for the whole rest of all the runs. So that means with this already very solid run of Gustavo, you're gonna see quite a high score that other riders will have to compete with.
And here we're taking a look back at his run. That's where he cased a little bit, but as you can see, the foot did not touch the ground, and that's something the judges, like I said, will take into consideration.
So setting that score. So most of the times it's gonna be the first or the first 2 riders. And with a run like this, I think it's gonna make an easier job for the judges. Still, it's gonna be a very hard job to give points to all these outstanding world-class riders. 75.20 for the man from Brazil.
That's a solid first score for sure. But he's gonna wanna improve on that, the competitor that he is. And here we got up our next rider, Daniel Dares, out of Caracas, Venezuela. I don't even like, this guy needs no introduction. He's been a contest staple for so long.
He's been at every major BMX contest in the last 15 years. At 38 years old, the oldest competitor at this event as well. And he's gonna drop a solid run for us, starting with that 720.
Yeah, putting a nice can-can into that 720 right there. Double tail whip transferring into the wall, hitting the hip section. Daniel has always been good at using the whole course, and he's got those really classic signature tricks like that 720 can-can. He also corks out his 720s, which is really nice looking.
Like every time we see Daniel ride, he really has a whole line planned out, and that always goes perfectly. Like this whole choreography of his riding, putting it to 100%. Oh, yes.
Almost touching that wall right there, but correcting right on time, keeping it going. Really smooth run so far. 450 bar over the hip. Getting a little air for some speed. 360 X-up, what's he's got down the spine? Oh no, he's using that as a quarter pipe. Beautiful. And a 540 to end it. Yes, Daniel, super solid run. The man who got a silver medal at the Olympics.
He's been repping that Red Bull helmet for years, and he deserves that.
Consistent.
Also has his
tricks
own
coming out in
park
run number 1 here.
in North Carolina. It's the Daniel Dares Actions Skate Park Center.
The Daniel Dares Action Sports Complex. Oh man, well, look, tweaking those spins. Double tail whip, really nice into that bank wall.
And you can see that he has a pink grip, and you might think, what's that all about? Well, to do bar spins, it's really nice to have those colors so that you can catch your bars more easily. It's those little things that the pros really take into account.
So it's like a color-coded bar spin.
Yeah, you could say that.
Still waiting for that score, 70.80.
Okay.
Don't worry. I think Daniel still has a lot of other tricks up his sleeve that he will show in his next run.
Yeah, and as a seasoned pro, he knows he has to put down a solid first run. Just pull everything, and then you can improve on that for your second run. So next up is Bertrand.
Lucas Bertrand de France from France at 21 years old. This kid knows how to rip. He always goes full throttle until that timer hits 0.
Sponsored by Avenue BMX, doing it for Team France. He's just getting ready, getting his focus. And as soon as he drops in Egon, that's when that clock will start counting down. And he's got 1 minute to show the crowd, to show the Brussels crowd here what he's got.
And in these temperatures, these guys need time to have some rest. Oh, look at him. Looking focused. He's gonna have this whole park 1 minute all for himself. Dropping in. Hitting us with that double backflip.
Yeah, that was a beautiful tail whip. Looked kind of like a bike flip without releasing the handlebars.
Slipping the 2 pedals.
That's gonna cost him. As we were saying earlier, the judges are looking for a lot of different things, and if you put your feet down mid-run, that's gonna cost you. So we'll see how he recovers from that, how he ends his run, but it's gonna affect his score.
Let's hope he still holds up to get into those finals. Now keep in mind, for tomorrow there's gonna be a code yellow for rainstorms here in Belgium, so riders have to see these semifinals maybe as the full result, so they have to put in all the work just in case. 10 more seconds for Lucas Bertrand.
Oh, slipping the pedals again.
Still keeps on going, has a good mentality. Just keep on pedaling, keep on pushing it.
Sir.
Oh!
Went down pretty hard, but I think he's most bummed about crashing.
I think Lucas did a really good job. Unfortunately, yeah, those crashes.
He's not feeling any pain right now. He's just worried about his score, and that's a true competitor mindset. You see Patrick Guimez, the head coach of Team France right there, cheering on his cadet.
Also, a shout out to our MCs on the course. So we have Catfish, Zach Yankush. He's been a FIS affiliate for years now as the host here. And then next to him, we should have Pierre Wilhelm as well. Also a well-known MC from France.
Yeah, Catfish is such a legend in this sport. He's been MCing events for so long. And he's also a really good flatland rider. Not a lot of people know that about him, but he's solid.
Even outside of BMX, when you just have him for yourselves, a really fun guy to get along with.
And yeah, so as we predicted, those 2-3 crashes that he had mid-run affected his score. He will get a 52 for his first run. And next up is Rimu Nakamura out of Japan. Oh, Egon, we can talk about this guy for a while. Huh? Rim, actually, his first name, Rim, is his dad gave him that name because of a BMX rim, which is like the outer part of a BMX wheel.
Also, you see him wrapping that Team Japan shirt, but actually, Rim still holds the title of world champion, so the 2022 world champion, and next month we'll be having the 2023 world championships in Glasgow, Scotland, where he'll have to defend that honor and that jersey and see if he can go back home to Japan with that rainbow jersey.
Wow, the crowd is hyping him up. Here you go, Rim. Dropping in, heading for that big box jump.
Yes, 720 bar spin.
3 down whip down the spine. Wow. Double tail whip there. Oh, 360 triple bar.
What? Backflip double bar spin to turn down.
Beautiful flare whip. Oh, landing a little bit low, but recovering, getting the speed in. 3 down whip going backwards on the box jump. Yeah, 720 can-can, beautiful. Transferring from the spine into the box jump.
Like, he's been clearing those jump boxes effortlessly. A lot of the riders are struggling to like clear it just in a straight way, but Rim manages to cross him. And 10 more seconds.
Double truck down the spine, step down. And that will be it for Rim's first run. What a solid run, dude.
Really good run.
And as you can see, Rim combined a lot of things that the judges are looking for. He went for height, he went for the tricks, he also went for style. As you can see, he did that.
And then at just 21 years old, like, I remember him coming up as a kid, like first being on Super Rosa and Vans, and then just like moving up his way in the BMX scene and in the competition scene.
Yeah, and I remember when he first started getting into competitions, the one thing that really stood out with him was the height. He went so high. But then he also got the tricks to back it up. You'll see him do a 10 feet, 15 feet air with a triple bar spin in it. And there's that backflip double bar spin to turn down. As you can see, that turn down was so clicked.
What a combination. Like, at the end of that trick, still pulling that turn on and pulling it out like the full 180 degrees around that head tube. So if you're not familiar with the sport yet, a turn down is when you turn your bars and wrap yourselves around your head tube. Now the thing is, what the judges are looking for, they want to see a fully clicked turn down, which means you have to turn those bars 180 degrees or over 180 degrees.
And there you have it. Rim Nakamura takes the lead, 81.6 for his first run. You can be stoked on that, Rim.
And that's a
so
solid advantage that he has.
Getting a score in the 80s is really well. Sometimes for finals you'll see guys score in the 90s, but scores in the 80s are already really good.
And next up we have the UK rider James Jones. I really like seeing this guy ride. I've seen him at a couple of competitions in Belgium and in Holland. This guy can rip.
360 double whip to start things off. Backflip bar spin tuck, down the spine, step down. Opposite down whip into that bank wall.
Yes. Like extending on those no-handers as well. Like fully opening up that chest.
Yeah, and he clears that box really well. Doesn't case.
Oh, a bit of steez into that bank wall.
One-footed tabletop. Tuck no-hander right there, linking everything together.
Oh,
yes, sir. Flare whip at height. Just misses the pedal. I think he did touch the ground there, but I'll leave it to the judges on that one.
but that's going to be okay. Still a very good-looking run for James Jones so far. Doing it for Team Great Britain, but if we're being honest, he is a Welshman from Wales, all the way from Swansea. If you're checking in from Wales, shout out to you guys.
And on that last box jump, he just did like a little moto table. We'll see what kind of score he gets. Started off really solid, but I feel like once he put that foot down after that flare whip, he kind of dimmed down a little bit.
He was also the Olympic runner-up for Declan Brooks at the Olympics in Japan 2 years ago. So not only are they like team athletes, but also like really good friends as well. It's really fun to see that dynamic between them and the whole team.
And here you'll see that flare whip at height, and yeah, the foot did drag onto the floor.
Oh man, one of the like better looking three downside whips in BMX.
As you can see also, James is running a brakeless setup, which means basically he doesn't have any brakes, and it makes everything a lot harder. Some people, some riders really prefer to ride brakeless because it gives them more control. You have to ride more controlled. But for tail whips especially, it's a lot harder.
Because a lot of riders will lock their brakes to get that rotational weight out of their back wheels.
For sure, and there's a lot of other tricks which, with brakes, it's easier. Like front flips, for example, if you lock the brakes, you have a lot bigger chance of getting the rotation.
Next up,
Logan Martin, 720 tuck no-hander, corked out over the box jump. This guy is the Olympic gold medalist, dominating the overall competition scene for so long.
the first athlete to win that Olympic gold medal in Tokyo 2021.
He just did a 360, no, I'm sorry, triple oppo whip.
Yes, barrel roll bar spin.
Oh, 3 down whip to bar spin. Yo, flare downside tail whip transfer. Keeping the foot on.
Ah, yes. Bit of an invert on that one.
Yeah, it's really nice to see Logan, which is a park machine, do tabletops and do them really well.
You know, in these kind of competitions, you're gonna see a lot of, let's say, the classic park tricks, like the flare, for example. This was a 540 flare.
Yep.
Bar spin, tail whips, but we really love it, and judges love it as well, when you sometimes can, like, show something different. Doing toboggans, doing turndowns, or
Yeah.
even having, like, a creative way of looking at the park.
Yeah, and the trick doesn't even have to be that hard. If it's executed at height with a lot of style, that's already really valuable. And here we have
a replay. 2, 3.
There's that barrel roll bar spin landing perfectly, setting me up for that spine step down.
During COVID, he was able to keep on working on his skills in his private backyard setup, and I think that actually contributed to his win at the Olympics as well. Now, next year we have Paris 2024 coming up, and we've seen the whole Australian team here. They all qualified as well, so whole Team Australia is in this semi-final because they're chasing that golden medal again.
Yeah, and it's one of those jokes that's been going on for so long, but there's something in the water in Australia, dude. There's so many talented riders coming out of Australia.
I think it's a Vegemite. So he's waiting for a score.
I saw in Logan's face, he was like, not really sure that's gonna be the run, but we'll see what the judges score it.
And who knows, next month he can claim that World Championship title again in Glasgow, being the 2021 World Champion. He already has that experience.
Yeah, also last stop of the FIS experience in Montpellier, he got first.
Okay, we're going back to our Brazilian athlete, Brazilian champion, Gustavo Oliveira.
Scoring a 75, I believe, on his first run. Let's see what he's got. 360 whip to bar spin, backflip bar spin, down that step down. Yeah.
Yes, nice combination there. Bar spin tuck no-hander. Catfish hyping up Gustavo.
There's that triple bar air, so controlled.
Oh, helicopter. Combination of the flip and the whip.
Flare, accept. Oh, yes, sir. 360 double bar over the spokes, really pushing through. Stepping up. 360 double whip. Flare bar. Oh, yes, that was some trail influence right there. Can tire grab. One turn down.
At the last stop at Montpellier, he was able to claim that 13th spot, getting some of those precious UCI points.
And ending it with a flare once again. I think he will improve a little bit with his score on that run.
I'm really curious for the replay because I thought he did like a double tire grab to no-hander. Might be mistaken, but I think it was something like that.
I'm hyped he got some trail influence there, man. He got like a can tire grab mid-run.
Okay, so we got one 360 tail whip to bar spin. Oh, yeah, tail whip to tuck no-hander.
There's that flare X-up. For you, though.
Oh, yeah, that was a tire grab to no-hander.
Yeah, also trail inspired.
Yeah, getting creative. See, that's the extra stuff that we want to see. Watch out for the camera, Zach.
He looks hyped. He looks hyped.
So right now he's still in third place with that 75.20. Did he improve on that second run?
My best guess is gonna improve just a little bit. Yeah, there we go, 76.94.
Jumping over Logan Martin.
Solid second run for the Brazilian. Getting a little fist bump from Zach right there. And we're back to the legend out of Caracas. Daniel Dares, currently hailing out of North Carolina.
Also in 2018, he won the overall UCI BMX Freestyle World Cup. 5 times X Games winner and that silver medal at Tokyo. Maybe he can get redemption on that silver, maybe even claim gold next year in Paris, France.
Yeah, and this guy has been going at it for so long. He's well into his 30s. I think he's 34 right now.
38.
38, oh my God. Starting off again with that 720 corked out can-can, 360 double whip down the step down spine, opposite down whip into the bank wall, flowing it together through that hip section. Nice 270 tuck no hander, super controlled. Yep, nice one, 360 triple whip, corked out 7 over the spokes, landing a little bit sketch, but keeping on. So here's his manling backwards over the box jump, getting his speed right. Yeah, transferring from the spine into that box landing.
Really tweaking that 720.
450 bar over the hip.
So that's another one to keep in mind if you're not familiar with BMX yet. Like, you can do a regular spin, but if you do it off axis, that means there's a lot of creativity in there as well, making it even technically harder. And that is what Daniel has locked in.
And again, ending it with that 540 air. Yes, sir, and you can hear the Brussels crowd appreciating Daniel's run, appreciating Daniel's mastery as well, because let's be honest, at 38, riding at that level, it's an accomplishment.
You know, it's a whole athletic lifestyle, and he's been living that for years. Like, he eats well, he eats clean, works out every day, works on his physique, and that's how you can maintain that level still at this age of 38 years old.
Yeah, and here we're taking a look back at his run. Super solid run. There's that 270, 360 tuck no hander, I'm sorry. 720 cork, transferring into the box landing.
540.
Yeah, that was to finish things off. And as a true sportsman, gives a little cheer to the crowd.
He's also been training the Chinese women's team for a while now. And it's really paying off. Like, if you look at the level of the Chinese women riding, like, there's been a massive improvement over the last couple of years. And not only through Daniel, but also through Rob Darden from the USA.
All right, we're getting ready for the second run of our friend Lucas Bertrand out of France. He's currently ranked 6th with a 52 score run. No, he's going to improve on that one. He wants to improve on that one.
Had a couple of slips in that first run. Can he improve on this second run? Starting it with the double backflip.
Again, super controlled. That's how he started off that first run. And I guess that's a bri flip.
That was a bike flip, yeah.
A bri flip. It's something that came out of scootering, I guess. Because at scootering, I've seen them do that a lot.
Backflip, double tail whip.
Backflip, double. Flare turn down into that wall bank. 3 whip, keeping it clean.
Oh, the cameraman fell down.
But we're keeping it going. Lucas keeping it going. Tuck no hander over the box jump. Yeah, 360
look back.
Not really that clicked. Oh, that turn out wasn't clicked at all. But he's keeping it going. Not putting his feet down this time. Yeah, flare alley-oop. Yeah, 450 whip. Come on, Lucas. He's looking for that exclamation point at the end of his run.
As you can notice, Lucas is turning both ways, so both left and
right.
Yes,
sir. He puts it down. 540 flare, and he's hyped. Yes, sir.
Brussels is going wild for Lucas Bertrand.
21 years old and putting on a show right here.
So the score for that first run was a 52.
And you can see Patrick being stoked, Patrick Guimez being stoked on that one. He's proud.
And it's not just going to be Luca for Team France. Like, we have some other riders coming up as well.
Just look how smooth he landed.
Yes.
There's that helicopter, backflip, double tail whip. And here he alley-oops with that flare. For you guys don't know what a flare is. It's a backflip air, which means that you're doing a backflip and landing back into the transition the opposite way. He's taken off the helmet because it is scorching heat right now, so...
And that more technical run of Luca got him a 62.10, improving from that first run. Now next up is gonna be our current world champion, Rimu Nakamura, all the way from Kyoto, Japan. At the age of 21, he is a prodigy, still improving every contest that we see him. Right now, ranked first.
Yeah, he put down a really solid first run. Doing it for Red Bull, Subrosa, Shadow Conspiracy. And dropping in.
Let's go Team Japan.
720 double bar. Oh, yes, sir. 360 windshield wiper. Very clean. Double whip into that bank. Oh, my God. That was a 360 bar spin back, bar spin. Yeah, there's that backflip double bar to turn down, and not just a turn down, a very well executed turn down. 360 down whip the box backwards, hanging up a little bit, but keeping it going, keeping that speed. No need for pedaling.
Oh, yes. Very well with the 720, yes. The downside silhouette back into that bank wall. Tucking that no-hander. I've seen him during practice, and he's been doing some huge lines on this course that we haven't seen in these runs yet.
He's got the 10-second marker right there. Ah, just slipping the pedal on that barrel roll on the spine step down. And that's gonna be it for Rim. So as he slipped his pedal, there's a good chance that his first run will be the highest score. And for these semifinals, the best run will count. So that 81.6 might be the score that will count for him. Here we're seeing that double whip into the bank. That beautiful 720 can-can.
Totally stretching that lack on that can-can.
Taking a book out of Daniel, there's his tricks. Because I remember Daniel really being the first doing that one.
Waiting for that score.
Yeah, so that will be a throwaway run right there, and that 81.6 of his first run will be the one that counts.
70.20.
So it's back to James Jones right here. One of your favorites, right, Egon?
Oh, for this contest, it's going to be a really tricky one. I don't want to really put out a favorite yet. But I just like the general level that we're having today in Brussels. I mean, here in Belgium, we don't have a lot of contests, so I'm really glad that guys like James Jones make it over here at this BMX Freestyle World Cup competition.
Also heading for that box jump. Oh, that step-up box jump. Backflip bar spin down the spine, step down. Yeah, 3-whip to tuck no-hander. It's so cool to see guys whip to tuck no-hander because you have to turn around your bike.
Doing a disaster to tail whip on that wall.
Very technical and also very risky to put that in mid-run. You know, if you slip a pedal, you're pretty much done. And it's so little time to kick that bike around. But James is really a specialist. Ah, just slipping the pedal again there.
Come on, James, you got this. Doing it for Wales.
Switch 3 pushing through on that step up.
And the way that he can extend on that no-hander.
10 seconds, James. 360 bar spin.
Oh yes, barrel rolling over that step down spine. I mean, it is huge. Yesterday we stood next to it, and it's a massive wall that you're looking up against. So imagine flipping it and then rolling down at full speed.
What a shame. He's nodding his head like, no.
Still a great run.
Yeah, it's just that little pedal slip on that flare whip that's gonna cost him, and he knows it. But yeah, the competition is so fierce these days, man. You just want to have a clean run, no pedals on the, no feet on the floor.
I hope we're gonna see that disaster to tail whip. So if I'm talking about disaster, it's like doing a 180.
Here we go.
Onto the cooping, and then look at that, whipping back in. That shows a lot of creativity by this Welsh rider.
And again, like, just slipping the pedal on that flare whip exactly, almost exactly the same as he did in his first run. And then, there he goes, sit down already. So he's looking at the scoreboard, but he already knows that foot down is gonna cost him. Did improve on his first run though, 67.7.
So a very solid run.
Which puts him in 5th for now. But next heat will definitely, there's a good chance he will be overclassed.
Back to that Olympic champion, Logan Martin, all the way from the Gold Coast, Australia, at 29 years old. Starting off with a really neat 720 no-hander.
Switch flare into that bank. I really like how Logan has, in recent years, turned up his switch game, like those triple whips to, here's a, opposite triple whip right there. Flare bar.
And up in your game with those switch or opposite footed tricks. That's how you show real experience on the bike. That's how you show that you can do like a really good run that can win you gold medals at the Olympics.
Yeah, and for the untrained eye, there's barely there's no difference. But if you know BMX, you know how hard it is to throw down a triple whip opposite. So there's that tabletop again, keeping the steez in his run. There's the regular triple tail whip, I'm sorry. Opposite no-hander, beautiful. 272.
Really stretching those arms out.
Yes, sir. Logan putting it down right there. Ending it with a 540 flare. And that was a really solid run from the Olympic gold medalist.
I mean, look at him. Being from Australia, you'd think he's used to this kind of heat, but still here in Brussels, it is hot.
Yeah, as we mentioned before, Egon, you really shouldn't underestimate the physical aspect of it. It's so intense. It's real cardio. And it's not only cardio, you have to be like, you're kind of lifting weights as you're running 20 miles an hour, 15 miles an hour.
I mean, these are the ultimate athletes that we're seeing here. I remember walking past one of the guys that just finished his qualification run yesterday, and he was totally knackered from those 2 runs that he had to do.
Yeah, and as you mentioned before, Logan has his own local park or his own private park in his backyard. He moved to the Gold Coast a couple of years ago.
So if he wants to claim that first spot, he'll have to beat Rimu Nakamura's 81.6.
And he's looking anxiously at that board right now, seeing what the judges will score him.
So the judges sitting right next to us, they have their own iPads with the scoring system, and they have to upload that score.
Yeah.
So both us here in the booth and you guys at home can see how these riders are scoring. And 82.90.
Overtaking Rim's 81.6, that's very impressive. And yeah, I mean, Logan's run, that was world class right there. Opposite, here we go on the highlight.
So those were our first 6 riders.
The Brazilian right there, Daniel Dares, super solid runs from Daniel. Oh yeah, that was the first run from the 20-year-old Frenchie. Grim's run, that was that backflip double bar to click turn down. James Jones with that free whip tuck no hander, so difficult, spinning your bike around and then tucking. James had a little bit of a bad luck at both at the end of his runs, but he still managed to put something really solid down. Here's Logan Martin, your current leader. There's that 540 flare at the end of the run. He's been doing those for a while. He knows how to do them. Very solid run from Logan. Daniel Dares with that cork 7 transferring. Backflip, double tail whip, also known as a helicopter.
So we just had a look at some of the highlights of our first heat of 6 riders. Right now in top 3, we're going to have Logan Martin, Rimu Nakamura, and Gustavo Oliveira. We still have 18 other riders to go. We're going to throw it down on this course, really drop that hammer here in Parc Josaphat in Brussels.
Oh man, I'm so excited to see what these other riders have got for this Hurricane Skate Park. It's gonna be amazing.
So for our next 6 riders, we're gonna have Justin Dowell, Bryce Tryon, Sean Gornall, Marin Rantesh, Jay Tui, and Tom van den Boogaard.
Yeah, Tom van den Boogaard is one that we're looking out for, especially because he is from the Netherlands, a neighboring country of Belgium.
Yeah.
And not only for the where he's coming from, but also the style, man. Such a great style.
Like, we're having riders from all over. We're talking USA, UK, Croatia, Australia, and then, of course, our Dutch neighbors.
Here we have Justin Dowell out of America.
Justin
with
Dowell.
a great mustache. He's also a rider that does a lot of different tricks. He's got that Twix, right?
He got the Twix, combination of the bar spin and the tail up at the same time. Now, look at his foot placement. So he has his left foot forward, but he spins left as well, being goofy-footed.
Starting things off with a backflip bar spin to turn down, backflip double bar down the spine, step down. Yeah.
Yes, truck driver to downside tail whip.
Yeah, 360 triple bar. Yeah.
Yes, Twix 360.
Very cool. You'll probably, that's the only rider you'll see that do during this event. Very unique trick. It's a tail whip and a bar spin combined. Very hard to keep control of, but he's got it down.
I mean, this whole run has been solid, on point already by Justin. Yes, bar spin flare. Double tail up into that bank wall. 360 look back, clicking those bars all the way.
Yeah, hitting that wall ride. I think that's the first dude that hits that wall ride.
That's true. That's the first one on the Lotto wall ride.
And as we mentioned before, the judges are looking for stuff like that, riders that use the whole course.
Now we still have that sub rail here on the course that hasn't been used yet, so I'm really curious what the riders are going to do.
Yeah, those that are running pegs definitely have the option to hit that, but it's also kind of difficult to put it in because everything you do in that is going to be risky. Let's take a look at Justin's first run, starting things off with that backflip bar spin turn down. 360 triple bar.
So if you look at it, see, he has his left foot forward, also spinning to the left side, which makes it a lot harder to spin, but that's the way that he was fought.
And there, that's that flare bar spin.
I think we're going to have a score like somewhere in the 70s. Already a very, very good run by Justin. Now, if we look at the bands on his collar and on his shirt, that means he has been a world champion earlier on. So we have to go back to 2018. That was the first time that Justin Dowell managed to claim that world champion title. Now, not only is he a world champion, he also is an Olympic athlete. So at the Tokyo Olympics, he was one of the 9 riders.
And very proudly repping Team USA, #1, he says. Oh, Justin Dowell.
Oh!
First place. And you know what? I think that wall ride and that 360 Twix really got him that score, you know? Judges are looking for that originality. And yeah, nobody's doing that 360 Twix.
That's what made him stood out from all the other competition.
And here we go, Bryce Tyron, our next rider, also repping it, Team USA.
Also a Monster Energy athlete.
Oh!
Starting off with that double backflip.
Stomping it, landing a little bit low, but still hanging on. Yeah, beautiful.
Flair 1-foot table. That's one of his signature tricks right there. Quick no-hander. Up into the bank wall.
I can tell by his shirt he's also riding Woodward regularly. He's got that Woodward logo on his shirt. Opposite flare.
So Camp Woodward, one of the best facilities to go and learn how to ride your BMX.
Yeah, they got everything you need to train those big tricks. Front flip over the step up, beautiful. 360 look back. Tuck no hander right there, linking things up. Slow backflip landing perfectly in the landing. Tuck no hander transfer.
Last seconds on the clock.
50 right there. And ending it with a flare.
Taking it easy.
Yeah, just putting down a solid first run, I guess. Not risking too much, because if you crash in your first run, then everything's on that second. Now he's got like a nice base to work off.
Also manages to get all those tricks in that minute of time that you get. Now, if it would be that you're still in the air and the buzzer goes, judges will still count that towards your run.
Yeah, and I think the judges will be looking at some of the landings of Bryce. He landed a little bit low on some of these tricks, and the judges will take that into account. But nonetheless, a banger run with a lot of difficult tricks.
Even on all those whip combinations, he manages to catch them by the pedals. And that's something that shows true experience on that bike. Catching your tail ups to the pedals. A lot of riders will land it to the cranks.
Crossing the fingers there, hoping to get a high score.
Yeah, hopefully.
And just before we saw head coach of Team USA, Ryan Nyquist, giving the water bottle, making sure his rider stays hydrated. Ending up at a 70, which puts him into 6th position as of now.
Now next up for Team Great Britain, we're gonna have Sean Gornall, 28 years old from Liverpool, doing it for Mafia Bikes and Applied Nutrition.
Yeah, we're talking about him before. That he's like a really staple kind of guy in the competition scene. Hasn't made it too much into the top 3, but he's looking to change that today.
Like especially in a lot of European contests, you're gonna see him ride and shred the course to bits. Yes, starting it off with that off-axis 720. Alley-ooping into that bank wall.
360 tuck no-hander, beautiful height on that. He can go really high, get the style tricks, but also has the difficult tricks.
Also keep it locked, like having that tuck no-hander tucked in, keep locking those arms out.
Oh yeah, there's that 360 tabletop. Super stylish. There's that decade. Yes, sir. Very unique. Tuck no-hander over the hip. Flare transferring into that bank wall. Oh yeah. Tuck no-hander on the landing of the spine step down.
Going into those 10 last seconds.
Hitting the switch 3 bar. Very interesting. Oh yes, sir. Front flip tuck no-hander. Didn't expect that one, because he was kind of going slow and then just pull it out of the head. Yes, sir. That was a solid run from Sean Gornall. Really curious to see how the judges will score that, because there was height, there was difficult tricks, there was opposite tricks. Had a lot of different things in there. Also want to give a big shout out to him for wearing long sleeves. That's very, very hard with this heat. And there you can see the height he took. That was going backwards on that spine step down. I'm sorry, that box step down.
Quick no-hander right there.
There's that front flip no-hander, which he really like pulled out of his head towards the end of his run.
Waving high to all the people at home, to all the viewers watching through our UCI BMX Freestyle YouTube channel.
Yeah, and I want to take the opportunity to thank our sponsors, which are FIS, Brussels Urban Sports Session, also the District of Brussels. They're doing a lot for the youth out here.
Our next rider is going to be all the way from Croatia, Dobro večer, Hrvatska. Next rider up is going to be Marin Rantes, 27 years old. 2 weeks ago, he was performing at a hardstyle dance festival on stage, and now he's here on this course in Brussels.
Wherever life takes him, man. And here he drops in. Heading for that step up, 360 double whip to bar spin, 360 double bar. Yeah, whip to bar. Yes, sir. 360 whip to tuck no-hander. Landing smooth, keeping it going. Oh, yes, sir. 360 triple whip. As you can see, he's very good at tail whips. Knows how to speed them up. Suicide no-hander. The difference between a tuck no-hander and a suicide no-hander is the tuck no-hander, you lay the bars in your lap so that you have more control as you release the hands. A suicide no-hander, well, it's called a suicide no-hander because it's suicide to let go of the bars without controlling them. A lot more difficult.
Clean run so far by Marin Rantes, the guy from Croatia.
Yeah, solid first run for the Croatian. And the Brussels crowd thanks him for that beautiful performance.
Now he's going to be waiting for his score. In 2018, he managed to claim the World Cup Championship through all the FIS stops in BMX Park.
Yeah, and there's that 3 whip to tuck no-hander, so nice. He's not only quick with the whips, he's also really quick with the no-handers. There's that 360 triple whip. Mike Spinner would be proud. Let's see what the judges score him. If you want to keep up with everything FIS related, you can go to Instagram at FISWorld, on Facebook at FIS.officiel, at FIS on YouTube, TikTok is FIS official, and Twitter is FISWorld. You can also use the hashtags FISWorld, FIS, FWS 2023, BMX Freestyle World Cup, and Brussels Urban Sessions.
Once again, thank you to the city of Brussels for making this possible. We can hear the MCs laughing as well. They're having a great time too. I mean, like, being here in Brussels, seeing some of the best riders in the world on this course, really putting it down here.
Yeah, and it's cool to see because on the one hand, these riders are out here to score, to perform, but there's also a camaraderie amongst them, and everybody's kind of rooting for everybody, so that's really nice to see. Marin Rantes scoring 6th place right there. So here we have the Australian J2, the really big tricks in his arsenal. He's got that double backflip on lock. And as you can see, I think he's going to start off of the big platform, dropping in, and that's because he wants to take some height. Yeah.
Double backflip. This looks like a promising run for J2E.
Double downside whip into the bank. Tuck no-hander on that hip. Really liking the height on everything he does. Switching up his feet, that means he's going for tail whips. Yeah, double tail whip. Oh yes, front flip off axis down that spine step down. Tuck no-hander into the bank. 360 tuck no-hander over the spokes.
at the last stop in Montpellier. He managed to claim that 4th spot.
Yo, there's that nothing front bike flip. Very impressive. That's one of those tricks where you really hold your heart and hope everything ends well, because he's letting go of everything and throwing his bike frontwards. It's so crazy.
Really looking to claim that spot to the finals. 10 more seconds up for J2E. Team Australia represent. They got every rider that came down to Brussels in this semi-final.
And what a solid run for Mr. Toohey. He can be stoked on that. Like, no mistakes. At height, everything. Very solid run.
And it's not just on park that he's a great athlete. Like last year at the 2022 X Games, he managed to get the silver medal on dirt as well.
Yeah, and he used to ride a lot of dirt, and now he's transitioning more into park riding. I know he's also a Nitro Circus affiliate where he does some of the most insane tricks for their live shows. I think he did like a tail whip, nothing front bike flip. The one you saw just now, but he adds a tail whip in. Like this one, but he adds in a tail whip before. So,
my God, nothing front bike flip.
And it's really crazy to do that on a regular sized box, because you need some time to get that bike around. But he's learned them so well. He's so controlled with them. And that's another trick that you won't see anybody else doing this weekend. So judges are really sensitive to that. If you're doing tricks that nobody else is doing, that's going to up your score.
The score should be coming in any second now. If you're watching from Australia, good night. We know it's like 2 o'clock at you guys. Here in Brussels, it's the evening, 7 o'clock here.
But seeing as there's a lot of countrymen qualified for this, I can imagine people staying up for sure.
My God, it's a really tough decision for the judges. I mean, like,
yeah.
Still waiting for the scores from Brian Kaczynski, Axel Jurgens, Luka Kolovic, Luke Christie, and Igor Poki Vukadinovic.
Oh, we got Tom van den Bogart after this. Shout out to the whole Australian BMX scene, man. Not only in park, but also in street. There are so many good riders coming out of Australia. And there you have it, J2E with a 74. Okay. Yeah, we'll see how he will improve on his second run.
Whoa, whoa, we're getting booze in. Wait, what is happening? I'm seeing thumbs down. I don't know what's up, but the crowd is getting rowdy here in Brussels.
As Tom is ready to drop in, he's just taking a moment for things to calm down, because he wants to have the full attention of the crowd as he drops in.
Like, not sure what happened there, but
that's okay. Tom's keeping his focus, so waiting it out. Tom, who's a Eindhoven resident, riding in the Area 51 skate park regularly. And there you have it, the big smile, riling up the crowd. He's hyped. And look at the height of this guy's riding. Like, it's so good.
There's a lot of Dutch friends from here in Brussels as well, cheering him on as he pedals through this course.
Yes, sir. Beautiful look back alley-oop. Nothing landing backwards on that step up. 360 double down whip.
Side.
Yeah, clean tabletop into that bank wall. Techno hander over the hip.
Bring a lot of those classic tricks to the skate park, like the tables and the turnouts. Oh, tail tapping on the wall.
That's a little bit of an extra little technical thing putting in. Yes,
oh!
sir. And that's what the judges are looking for, man.
Tail whip transfer, fast planning on that wall again.
Very original transfer, very huge, sending it.
Downside fast plant.
Oh, and he's doing a foot jam burner. Vader jam, beautiful. Tail whip on that bank. Flare on the spine to finish things off. Yes, sir. There was a lot of originality in that run. That transfer he did.
He looks so happy with his run.
Dude.
So as we said, Tom is an Area 51 skate park local. So Area 51 skate park located in Eindhoven. And earlier this week, a lot of the pro riders made a trip over to Eindhoven, which is like, let's say, a 1.5 hour drive away from Brussels to start the training, because we're still building the park here in Brussels. Get hydrated, Tom. It is hot here in Brussels.
There's that 360 double downside whip. And there's that alley-oop. Look back, beautiful execution. There's that transfer with the tail whip in there. It's really particular because nobody else has done that transfer, and he just adds a whip first go. He's stoked. Yes, sir. Doing it for Tall Order, Vans, Monster, Paul's Boutique also. Getting hydrated. And he's one of those riders that keeps the smiles going, man. Okay.
74.88, putting him in that 6th spot.
Just before J2 there.
So that was the first run of our second heat of riders, which means we'll go back to Justin Dowell.
Justin Dowell doing it for Team USA.
In Virginia, originally born, now moved to North Carolina.
Riding for Hyper BMX and Snafu. Backflip bar spin turn down to start things off. Backflip double bar down that spine step down. Yes, sir. There's that Twix air.
Twix airing, my God.
Oh, yes.
360 triple truck. Oh!
What? Damn.
Still, this is going to be probably a burner run. Still that first place.
So hard to clear.
Yeah.
There's no fucking way.
This is a calculated risk that he's taking. Saving some of that precious energy, maybe for tomorrow in finals.
Yeah. Or maybe it was just like, oh, I'm good. Got that first run in, scored really high. And he was talking to Ryan Nyquist right after he got back on deck, and Ryan looked like he understood.
Like we're seeing this a lot in the bigger teams like Team USA, Team UK, Team Australia. Like they have some of the pros, the older pros that are now their team manager or team coach, and like they'll be talking tactics, looking back at the runs, doing video analysis.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they also got the bike setup, the road bike setup, to keep guys like hot, keep the muscles flowing, keep the blood flowing.
Yeah, so they have the bike trainers like just on deck. As soon as they get off their bikes, they just get on the trainer, keep those legs moving, keep the blood pumping, get that lactic acid out. Now our other rider for Team USA is gonna be Tryon Bryce, 22 years old, still a young gun.
Boom, double backy on that step up to start things off, 360 bar spin. Yeah, there's that great looking flare. One-footed tabletop, tuck no hand over the hip. He's also one of those riders that rides switch. Yes, sir. 360 double whip, I think.
Double tail whipping, flaring into the bank wall. Halfway his second run. Right now, still in that 10th position with 70 points.
Yeah, and he's doing some really great tricks, but struggling a little bit to keep the optimal speed.
He wants to get in that final. He wants to be in that top 12.
Just hanging up there on the box jump, that's gonna cost him.
10 more seconds for Bryce.
450 over that hip. And that's gonna be it for Bryce's second run. Giving a little bit fist bump to the crowd. Not sure if he's fully hyped on that, but still great sportsmanship. Ryan Nyquist with the signature boonie hat. Gotta give a little shout out to Ryan, man. He's also one of those legends. And I remember from one of the last stops of the FIS experience in Diriyah, he also rode and was the head coach of Team USA. So doing a double roll there, not riding this
Look
event.
at that. Flare 1 foot table. Giving a bit of an extra.
I stand corrected. That was a 360 triple whip. Flare.
So right now in 10th place.
770.
8.24.
So he's not going to improve on that first run. I guess it's because he cased a little bit, especially towards the end of his run. There were a lot of big cases. But his first run was really solid. And let's see if he will move up into the finals for tomorrow.
Now this is still heat number 2. Up to our third rider, Sean Gornall. After this heat, we're going to have 2 more runs with 6 riders. So that means things can change in the leaderboard.
Here we go. Yo. So
Corking that
sometimes,
7.
yeah, sometimes we talk about cork 7s, but for me that was a backflip 360. That was so, like, he was upside down. So for me that's a backflip 360. Switch 3 bar spin, beautiful. Oh yes sir, 360 opposite downside, tuck no hander into the bank. Boom, truck driver tuck no hander.
Like Sean is ripping this course decade, really putting the hammer down.
Beautiful. Tuck no hander over the hip, linking it up. Flare into the bank. Oh, that was a close one, but still really well executed.
Tail whip in that bank wall over the box, 360 no-hander.
Casing a little bit, gotta keep the speed going. Bar spin.
Setting up for the box.
Yeah, a little case there. That's one of the most trickiest things about putting down a world-class run is towards the end you're gonna get tired, and if you hang up, then you're gonna lose your speed and you might lose the whole flow of your run.
Especially in this park. I mean, like the whole box jump setup is unforgiving. Like you'll need all your speed, all your pump to clear it.
Yeah, here we're seeing that backflip 360 and like it was more than a cork 7 for me.
Yeah.
That was definitely a backflip 3. Alley-oop tuck no hander there. So
Truck driver no-hander by Sean.
Sean is not the one that will do the crazy transfers, will not go for those original lines, but he's got some amazing style and the big tricks. Also the height is really well. So let's see how the judges will score that.
So right now Sean is standing at that 75.5 in 5th place. Scoring a 69.60. So we're gonna keep that score from his first run.
And now we have Marin Arantes out of Hrvatska.
Hrvatska from the city of Varazdin.
I actually learned today that he didn't have a local park when he started riding BMX, so he started riding street. And then when he discovered park, he moved to Zagreb and started riding that park. Very interesting to know that he started up riding street, as he now has one of the fast. Yo, 360 double whip to bar spin. Triple truck down that spine step down. Yeah, whip to tuck no hander. 360 whip to tuck no hander.
Getting all that speed on the walls, hitting the box jump setup. Yes, 360 whip to late 360.
Oh, he wanted that look back, but
he was like looking for something in that air.
Stuck like a gargoyle, but he's keeping it going.
Bar spin.
Yup.
Truck driver no-hander.
Great extension on that tuck no-hander. Double tail whip into that bank. Oh, 360 whip over the spokes, landing perfectly. Transferring from the spine into the lip of the box jump.
720.
And that's what we were talking before. Just a little bit hanging up. Still a really big trick. And how's he going to finish? 360 tuck no-hander over the spine. And that was packed of tricks.
I noticed on the time to ride quarter, like he just set up for a good air to get a line to hit that box again. So that's something we're seeing. Like if you're lining up for that box jump, maybe don't do a trick on one of those 2 quarters and just try to get yourself propelled over that box.
So next up is J2. He for his second run. Oh, I'm sorry.
Still gotta wait for the points of Marin Rantes.
Oh yeah. Man, I'm just so excited to see Jay put down his second run because he put down a banger of a first run, and I think he's gonna wanna up his score with that second run. 720 tail whip from Marin, beautifully executed.
Like I just love it when riders throw a trick in that first 360 and then pulling into that that second 360, making it look like two separate tricks, even though it is a 720 combination.
Yeah, yeah. Like locking in that tail whip and then spinning it around. Oh, he just improves just a little bit from that first run.
71.94.
And now next up we got Jay Toohey, the Australian. His first run started off with a big double backflip. As you can see, he is just in the corner of the screen right there.
Now, if you're just tuning in his first run, he got a 74, even after a very good run. Like, the crowd actually wasn't feeling it. Like, they wanted a higher score for Jay Toohey. They were booing the judges, actually. So let's see how they'll react this time.
But Jay is all focused right here as he drops in from that big wall into the bank. Yeah, back again with that double backflip. Double downy into the... Oh, no, dude.
Do we have a mechanical?
Might be, yeah. Or he just slipped the pedal and just wasn't feeling it.
Let's see what went wrong there.
Yeah, it's a mechanical issue, looks like.
Did he burst his tire?
Shame, dude.
It sounded like his brakes locked when he didn't want him to.
Yeah, it might have been that. Man, I'm a little bit bummed for Jay.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes it happens, like when you go for that tail up and you want to lock your brakes, to lock that back wheel, it can cause your cables to break because of the tension you're putting on it.
Yeah, and he's one of those dudes that rides with brakes that squeak very loudly. So as we were saying again, Jay started off his second run like he did his first run with that big double backflip. But as he went into that double downside with, something happened. Might have been the brakes.
Yeah.
So it's up to Tom van den Boogaard, currently ranked 6th with a 74.88, hailing out of Eindhoven, the Netherlands.
Like last year, he was the first rider to land a 360 quadruple downside tail whip. Oh, look at that 360 one-footed tabletop, keeping it classic. Alley-oop look back.
Nothing transferring into the lip of the step up.
I even thought it was a one-footed no-hander, even more technical than a nothing. That's something for the replays, yes. Putting it flat on that tabletop, no-hander.
Downside tail whip under the hip. There's, oh, damn. That's a shame. He wanted to go for that tire tap again, but just his front wheel touched the ground. Oh, transferring again. Yeah. Downside fast land on that big bank wall. That's a really stylish trick.
360 look back. Come on, Tom. Still got 10 more seconds on that clock.
He's one of those riders that just oozes style. And he goes for the nose press onto that Lotto wall. That's going to be it for the Dutchman's second run. So amazing, man.
Like, if you're more of a mid-school rider, you might recognize a lot of the Mike Aitken riding style in Tom's way of riding.
Yeah, for sure. He's got those 360 one-footed tabletops on lock, which was Mikey's signature run. Signature trick, I'm sorry. And I once told Tom that his riding looks like Mike Aitken. He was like, oh my God, dude, that's one of the best compliments ever. Alley-oop. Look back right there. It was a nothing into the box jump lip. Click turn down. You won't see Tom doing anything than a click turn down. 360 double downside whip. And even though he messed up that tire tap, put his front wheel down, he's still hyped. So he's not going to improve from his first score. His first score will be the one that counts, a 74.88.
Holding on to that 6th place for Tom.
Here we have a little view of the beautiful Hurricane Park here in Josaphat Park. We're enjoying ourselves, Bessie.
So we had a look at some of the highlights from that second heat of our 6 riders. Now, during that time, heat number 3 had time to warm up on this course here at Parc Josaphat in Brussels. Our next heat of riders is going to be some other world-class athletes that we have here, with the likes of Declan Brooks, Nick Bruce, Brian Fox, Joshua Matthews, Kaide Ozawa, and Anthony Jean-Jean.
Yeah, Anthony Jean-Jean was the winner of last year's Brussels Urban Sports Edition here in Josaphat.
If I were him, I would like to prolong that title.
Yeah, and I guess a lot of the French-speaking people out here would love to see that too. Get a Frenchie, get the win again.
He's going to be the president of Urban Sessions.
Also a shout out to Kaide Ozawa, who's 15 years old, the youngest rider out here today.
Our next rider is going to be Declan Brooks from Great Britain, from the city of Portsmouth, 26 years old.
Yeah, starting things off, corked out 720, tuck no-hander, boosting out of that wall. That was beautiful. Yeah, man, that height is something the judges will definitely be looking for.
And this man has the experience to win. Last Olympics, he got the bronze medal. My God, would you look at that run?
Front flip, tail whip over the box jump, dude. That's so nice. Haven't seen that one all day. Yeah, and Declan's got that combination of big tricks, height, off axis, front flip down that spine, step down, 540 transferring. Man, this is a solid run. This is a really, really, really good run.
He's really showing us some of his best tricks that he has. 10 more seconds for Declan.
Worked out 7 on the spine at height, dude. And he's taking notes from Daniel Dares right there, because he started off with a corked out 7 no-hander, which was really, really signature Daniel Dares. But the height of some of these tricks, dude.
Now, Declan's not only a great athlete, he's also a great stunt performer. He's been featured in Bollywood productions, and the Disney classic Mary Poppins Returns is where he's riding in one of the bike scenes.
Yeah.
And if you want to have it a bit more classy, then he also performed in Cirque du Soleil a couple of years ago.
He's been all over the map.
Athlete, stunt performer, circus artist.
And here we take a look at that, that tabletop at height. Didn't really fully extend on the tabletop, but still, there's that front flip tail whip, landing it perfectly. So difficult to catch those pedals while you're rotating front forward. And here's that front flip.
Super slow-mo front barrel roll.
And that's a great look. What a slow-mo, man.
Oh, man.
And it's looking so complicated because you're spinning front forwards, but you're going off axis at the same time. And
this is giving
so
me the
difficult.
chills right now.
Yeah, man. Also a powerhouse. You can tell this guy has some strength in his body. And as we were talking about before, it's CrossFit, like serious CrossFit that these guys are doing. It's cardio and strength at the same time.
Like, you gotta keep in mind, these guys have to do 2 runs of 1 minute going full speed. I wonder if any of the teams are running heart rate monitors. I'm really curious for what the data is gonna give, what digits we're gonna get.
I can imagine doing Great Britain and Team USA doing stuff like that. it's gotten to the point where everything is measured, everything is they're trying to maximize everything, and that goes for the performance of these riders.
And the score is coming in. We got a 75.72, putting him in 5th place, just over his friend Sean Gornall from Team UK.
And here we have Nick Bruce. Nick Bruce coming out of a long period of injury. I'm not sure, but I think he tore his ACL, which put him out for a couple of months. But now he's returned to the contest scene, and he's really, really one of the heavy hitters.
Nick Bruce doing it for Rockstar Energy, DK Bikes, and Alienation BMX rims.
Yeah, that was a backflip, 360 tuck no-hander. 360 table at height over the spokes.
Really clicking that tabletop.
Tuck no-hander air. Yeah, just giving a little pedal in between there.
Just get a bit shorter on that step up. I mean, as we said, these boxes are unforgiving. Now you need to set up.
Oh, yes, sir. 360 windshield wiper over the box jump. Cleared that one perfectly. Double downside whip into the bank, keeping it going. Backflip tuck no-hander over the big box jump, clearing that one as well. Let's go, Nick. You got this, dude.
Also an Olympic athlete, so at the first inaugural BMX Freestyle at the Olympics, he was one of the riders, ending in 9th position because of a crash, but still had the honor of competing at the Olympics.
And there you have it for Nick's first run. Very solid.
Also, something really fun. If you didn't watch the Montpellier stop of the UCI BMX Freestyle World Cup, he actually ended up in the canal because he missed his landing on another step up.
Not only a very talented BMXer, also a talented swimmer. And as the showman that he is, he landed in that water and just made the crowd even more stoked. There's that flare tabletop, even like inverting that tabletop into the flare. Backflip tuck no-hander at height, just holding on.
Really solid flip combinations by Nick.
Yep, and he's stoked on that. That's really good, like strategically, because he's putting down a really solid first run right now. Didn't take the really, really big risks, because I know he's got some crazy tricks in his arsenal, but he's like not chilling, but definitely trying to put down a first solid run, and then he's gonna look for that second run to build upon that.
So we're over halfway in this competition. We already had 2 heats. We're at the 3rd heat now with our second rider, Nick Bruce. So we have 24 riders. If you just tuned in, 24 riders battling it out to get that spot to the finals here in Brussels at Urban Sessions. Scoring a 74.62 by Nick. Is that gonna be enough to keep that position in the finals?
I'm sure Nick's gonna want to improve on that. He's got some more big tricks up his sleeve, and it's funny to see some of these riders are getting on the stationary bike to keep the blood flowing. Nick's just like on the bars of his own bike, on his BMX, just pedaling away.
Brian's asking people to move up, move out of the way. So what is he gonna do?
Oh, he's dropping in from that.
From the Opal banks.
From the Opal banks into the corner. He's going for that step
full
up.
speed.
Yeah, backflip 360, beautiful. Bar spin over the spine, step down. Flare downside.
Sliding out.
And also hitting.
I think he hit his foot on the way back in.
Yeah.
Let's see if he walks it off. Come on, Brian. How's everything feeling?
I know Brian's a real, like, he can handle some pain. He's no stranger to pain, so very disciplined guy. Riding in Woodward regularly, learning from all the pros, learning from those big ramps.
Now, Stan, he has been your Woodward camp counselor, isn't it?
He has, yeah. And I met him last year here, and he recognized me. I was like, yeah, dude, that's right. And we kind of reconnected. It was really cool.
So not only working on his own progress to get those spots in the BMX Freestyle World Cup, but also like learning his skills to the younger guys and girls over in the USA.
And it's really cool to see that he's settled down in Woodward, Pennsylvania now. And it's such an amazing training camp. You've got everything there.
And listening, so
Brian is talking to his coach, Ryan Nyquist. Ryan Nyquist giving his
He was
advice.
missing the speed when he landed, so let's hope he can take it up a notch in that second run. We really hope that Brian Fox can improve on that second run. So right now he's got that 12.80. Next up is gonna be Joshua Matthews from Team Australia,
Yeah,
26 years old.
Another Aussie dropping in. 720 bar right there, starting things off, cranking, getting some speed.
Really styling it back into that bank wall.
360 tail whip, transferring.
Hear that wheel buzzing.
And there's that front flip off axis as well. We've seen a couple of riders do that trick now.
Doing it for the likes of Hyper BMX and Snafu.
Getting some speed. What's he got? Oh, cash roll. Pulling it. Didn't put his foot down.
Quick tire grab. Getting all those tricks in.
Oh man, it's such a difficult trick. Not a lot of people are doing that. Joshua Matthews really throwing down, giving his everything.
He was coming in hot with that 540 flare, just sliding out his front wheel on the way back in.
And there's a good chance he didn't practice that cash roll, so he might, like for his second run, now he might know that, okay, I have to take a little bit more speed, and he might land it in his second run.
Like, it has become such a staple trick for a lot of riders to do pulled cash rolls. Like, I remember years ago, Daniel Dares being one of the first riders, he was the first rider to actually pull that in competition.
I remember that as well.
Oh, yes.
There's that cash roll. A cash roll is basically a 180, and then you go into a backflip 180 right afterwards. There's that 540 flare alley-oop where he just looped out, washed out, didn't get the full rotation, and that's why he washed out. Looks like he hurt his hand a little bit.
39.
So we'll see if he will be back for his second run. Looks like he hurt his hand a little bit, but these guys are tough as nails, so we'll see. Like, next up is
Kaede Ozawa.
Yeah, and we're saying his name simultaneously because he's got our attention. He's 15 years old, and he's got the hands of a samurai.
Oh, yes, coming in hot on that step up.
Tuck no-hander bar spin. Tail whip bar spin, beautiful. Yeah, triple truck over the spokes. Bar spin accept. And that's what I was saying with those quick hands. He can do double bar spins, triple bar spins. He's got tail whips on lock as well.
That is going to impress the judges. All the bar spin variations, all the whipping variations by Kaede Ozawa. Yes, kicking her out on that can-can. Toboggan. Oh, yes. Really tweaking that downside tail whip.
Beautiful backflip bar spin right there. Oh, yes, sir. Tuck no-hander bar spin.
And it's in all the small details what the judges are looking for. Like, how are you kicking that tail whip? How are you catching that tail whip or that bar spin? How are you landing back into that transition? How tweaked is your bar during a toboggan or a turn down? Those are the things that the judges are looking for. They're looking for perfection in your run.
Very solid first run out of the Japanese. I don't feel comfortable saying kid anymore. He's 15 years old, but he's not a kid anymore, man. If you look at the tricks he's pulling, super solid.
Over the last couple of years, like, the level has been rising among the BMX scene, among BMX contests. Like, I remember us riding at 15 years old, barely being able to pull simple tricks like, you know, bar spins or tail whips. Except for Stan, you could do that, these kind of tricks. But now, these kids at the age of 10 are able to do flip whips, bar spin combinations.
Yeah, there's another Japanese kid, and I think he's like 12 or 13. Showa BMX on Instagram. Keep an eye out on that kid because he'll be on the competition scene really soon.
And I think that's a lot of fun for us as announcers as well, like getting to know these new age riders, like the up and coming talents, and seeing them perform at these competitions, showing us what they got.
Yeah, and this Kaede Ozawa, he's got that raw talent, he's got that youthful energy, and it's going to be really interesting to see for the next coming years what he will do to grow into his own style.
Our next rider is going to be Anthony Jean-Jean from France. He's defending his urban session style like he claimed the win last year on this course. Look at him being focused, doing it for Monster Energy, G-Shock, TSG, Total BMX, and Fist Handwear. But first and foremost, doing it for le pays de France.
Liberté, égalité, fraternité.
Et
Dropping
BMX.
Yo, 720 bar right there. 360 bar spin, tuck no hander. Beautiful flare bar spin. Getting a couple of cranks in. Yeah, triple whip. Landing into that steep takeoff. Yo! Oh, damn, dude.
Got away safely.
And what a showman right there. He crashes, stands up, and just gives it the hands at the crowd like, I wanted it.
We're having a crowd favorite, and that is going to be Anthony Jean-Jean.
Oh, man, if he comes back for his second run and he pulls that, I know the crowd's going to go wild.
Well, that's going to be the task for Catfish and Pierre to get the crowd all hyped up for Anthony's second run. But first, back to the starting line to Declan Brooks. But first, we're going to be waiting for Anthony's points to come in. His run was cut short by that crash.
If that would have been a full pull, dude, oh man, that would have been a high score. But you know, as we were talking about, if you crash, it's basically a throwaway run. So there we go, 720 bar spin.
Are we going to have another look at that crash? Unfortunately not. But luckily, he got away safe. Looks like he's not hurting. He's checking on his bike again.
And also, from last year when he took the win here, I think he picked up Monster Energy as a sponsor, so shout out to Anthony for that. Declan Brooks right here.
And if we're looking at our current standings, then Declan is in 5th place, still holding strong with that 75.72.
Let's get it, Declan. As we were talking about, he's got that height and he's got those difficult tricks. Here we go. Yeah!
What?
And the cameraman did not know how to follow him. He's got some air miles, man. He's got some real air miles.
Like, he's going so high, the cameraman has to pan out to get it in his image. Yo, front flip, tail whip.
I want to give a special shout out to Declan because he's really combining the steezy tricks with the crazy park run tricks, you know. He did a really beautiful motocross tabletop, motocross, and then straight into a front flip tail whip. There's that off-axis front flip down the spine, step down, 540 transfer, beautiful stuff. 360 one-handed X-up on the spokes. Finding a nice flow in this course as well.
So far, no errors on behalf of Declan. Yes!
Yes, sir. 360 tuck, no hander. That was a really, really solid run. And as we mentioned before, the height this guy's taking, man, that's something the judges really like. Huh?
Like, he is a true powerhouse.
Yes, for sure. And he did that tabletop at height in his first run as well, but now he improved in it so much because the extension on the tabletop was a lot better. At least from what I could see, because the cameraman he was kind of shook at how high Declan was going.
Look how high it goes.
Tabletop was a lot better this time. Corked out 7 no-hander. Front flip, tail whip, beautiful execution. There's that 540 transfer, really tucking in that bike. Looking really good out there.
As we mentioned it earlier on, judges are looking for flow, and an indication of flow is not pedaling on a course. However, if you're pedaling extra hard to go extra high, then the judges will go easy on you.
Yeah. I mean, if you're pedaling because you cased, that's not good. If you're pedaling because you want to air 2 meters higher, probably get a pass.
Like, are you making up for speed, or do you want extra speed on that?
Yeah. And with in Declan's case, it's definitely because he wants to fly to the moon.
Like, Declan's order was, I would like a run with extra speed, please.
And as you can hear, Like me and Egon, we're definitely a fan of going high. We really appreciate that. We also love big tricks, but going high, yeah, it's just something timeless, you know. Tricks come and go, tricks progress, but high is just something that's always going to be there. And Matt Hoffman is the one that really opened that up for a lot of riders. 720
So on the course now is Nick Bruce from Youngstown, Ohio at 31 years old, doing it for Rockstar Energy and DK Bikes. A couple years ago, he won the UCI World Cup in Chengdu, China.
Flare tail whip right there. 360 backwards over that step up. Switch air bar spin. Double downside 360.
He's one of those World Cup household names. You'll see him at every event.
Backflip 360. Nice little Euro table there.
Whip, whip.
Also really high. Double whip air, transferring into that bank wall. Oh! And just landing a little bit low, but keeping it going. Downside flash plant on the wall, and that's gonna be it for Nick. That last, like one of those last tricks where he landed a little bit low, that might cost him, but we'll see what the judges score him.
So he's working with that 74.62 points from his first run. And maybe he'll improve that with that 360 backflip no-hander. Or as we can see here, nice and high flare, lining up for this box.
Backflip tuck no-hander right there. There's that backflip 360 really inverting himself, going upside down.
And landing perfectly into that transition.
360 downside whip, and there's him at the end of the run. And we're waiting in for that score to come in. Nick's moved to the other side of the park, giving a fist bump to head coach Ryan Nyquist.
Scoring a 69.20, so we're gonna keep on to that first run score, the 74.62.
Yeah, and it's that low landing where he also shot off a foot of his pedal that's really cost him.
Now it's redemption time for Brian Fox, the Woodward local. He slid out on the UCI quarter into the bank wall.
Man,
so
he's got that killer look in his eyes. Let's go, Brian. Yeah, backflip 3. Yo, that was a 360 double bar spin. Yeah.
Hold on. Oh, holding on for dear life. Almost in a notes manual. What?
Dude.
720 to the spine?
Brian, you're such a legend for keeping it going right there. Suicide no-hander on the step up.
Even though he had that pedal slip, Brian Fox keeps it going.
Flare transfer. Tuck no-hander.
Come on, Brian. Right now, he won't be able to make it into the finals with that first run, but can he improve on this second run?
Yeah, big shout out to Brian for still keeping this run going. But after that almost crash,
still putting on that show for the crowd here in Brussels.
Yeah.
Oh, 540.
540 flare right there, tuck no-hander on the spine, and that's gonna be it for the American. He's shaking his head, but still, man, so much respect to you, Brian. You're a legend.
I've seen him in practice two days ago, and he landed his first cash roll on wood here in Brussels. So I was really hoping he would pull that one off here, but you know, it is a competition. Sometimes things don't go the way that you want it to.
Yeah, and if you have in the back of your head that you're not gonna score really high because you kind of crashed, it's really best to keep those tricks in the bag and not pull them out, because those are really dangerous tricks and guys are putting their life on the line for getting a high score. So,
well, who knows, maybe next month at the World Championships he'll be able to drop that cash roll in a run.
The scores are coming in right now.
61.60.
So he didn't really crash on that run, so the judges are awarding him with a 61.6. But if he didn't almost loop out, almost bump forward, he would have gotten a really high score. Next up is Josh Matthews out of the Gold Coast, Australia. Another Aussie.
Aussie. Oi, oi, oi.
Yeah, 720 bar to start things off, cranking it up. Euro 1 foot transferring, 360 tail whip.
Nice and clean.
A little bit of a hang up there, but nice execution. Backflip, bar spin. Oh,
Fronting on that step down spine.
Off axis fronty. We've seen a lot of those by now. Still a crazy run, crazy trick. Doesn't matter how often we see it.
But especially on that obstacle, I mean, it is 4 meters high, and you're just...
Yes, sir. There's that
nothingness.
cash roll, and this time he pulls it clean, getting into that landing. Opposite flare transfer right there.
Quick tire grab.
Yeah, man. Every trick counts. There's that. Yes.
540 flare, yes.
Pulling it clean again this time. He's really improving on his first run. He's doing everything right this time. And what's he got? Come on, one last banger. Big flare, alley-oop.
Just a nice
Yes.
textbook style clean flare.
Oh, that was cool.
So if you're not familiar with the lingo, an alley-oop is where you have your one way of direction on a quarter pipe, but then spinning the other way around.
Yeah, and that cash roll he did, I really want to see a replay of that. A slow-mo replay if possible, because that was beautiful.
Now Joshua had that 39 on his first run. So he definitely has to improve.
There we go. That's that first trick he did, 720 bar. 360 tail whip transferring, just casing a little bit there, but he kept his speed. Double truck over the spokes, and there's that cash roll.
Oh my God.
He goes 180 and then backflip 180 right after that.
Beautiful. Oh, and he is amped up.
Yeah. It's like a pit bull, like, yeah, got it.
Now he needs a minimum of 70.0 to beat the score of the 12th qualified right now, which is Bryce Tryon. Scores coming in 64.4.
Okay, improving a lot on his first run, but still that won't be enough to get him into the finals. Next up, we got the second run of our Japanese prodigy, Kaede Ozawa. And as we said, Kaede is only 15 years old, the youngest competitor out there this weekend.
But the Japanese scene as well, like they absolutely rule at Flatlands. They're taking over the park scene as well with all these young talents.
Here we go, 360 triple bar.
That was a triple, yeah.
Oh, yes, sir. 360 downside tail whip to bar spin. Opposite downside tail whip. Transferring. Oh, keeping on.
Just catching those bars. Even the crowd noticed he just catch those bars in time.
And let's see how he reacts to that scare, dude.
Oh, man. That's the
that's gonna
adrenaline
scare
rushing.
you. Yeah, opposite. No, regular downside tail whip. Can. Catching the side of that hip right there, going to the other side of the course. Backflip bar spin. Getting it clean into the landing.
T-bogging the Brussels spokes.
360 bar spin to X up right there. Hitting the wall, bar spin out. That's something he did in his first run, and he's one of the few riders that hitting that wall, and he's doing a bar spin out. So that will count for park usage. Yes, Kaede. Very nice run. And we are both hyped to see where this young man will be going.
So the current standings, he's in that 13th place, so just not in the final selection. Keep in mind, we still have another heat of riders coming up after this one, so a lot can still change. But Kaede will need 70.0 points.
He looks hype. Here's that 360 triple bar. And there's that opposite downside whip. And here's, oh no. 360 whip to bar spin.
Oh, just got those bars just in time.
There's that look back, not fully clicked, but still. Let's see. I think he will improve a little bit. Oh, no, it's going to be his first score that's going to count. That's 68 points.
Chill shout out to Kaede. Solid looking run. Really liked him here.
Right now, he's just outside of those final, that 12th spot. And
Keep in mind, 15 years old.
Yeah, dude, and that's what I was saying. Really stoked to see where this kid is gonna go as he grows into his own style.
And now, I don't know if you can hear it on the live stream, but the crowd is going mental for Anthony Jean-Jean from France.
Will he start off? Oh no, 720 bar, 360 bar spin, tuck no hander. Yeah, flare bar spin at height, landing into that bank wall.
Was that a triple tail and back into that step up?
Yep, and he did it on his, and he got it this time.
My God.
Yes, sir, he got it this time. The backflip triple tail whip, landing smooth, tuck no hander over the hip. Come on, Jean-Jean.
And we're over halfway, Anthony's run. First run, had a bit of a mishap. Oh,
Backy double.
Stomping it, just barely sipping that pedal. Keep it going, Anthony.
I don't even know if his foot touched. So
allez-y, Anthony, allez-y.
Let's see how the judges will score that, because the judges are looking at if the foot touches, if it's just a pedal slip, or if the foot's dragging. So it will be interesting to see how the judges will score that. Yeah, that was cool.
He is a massive talent. He won the European title in 2019, 2021, and 2022, and just barely missing that podium spot. Well, missing that first spot a couple of weeks ago in Gdansk.
Yeah, and the crowd's loving it. They don't care about that pedal slip. They just know that this man put down some serious action into his run.
MCs are hyped.
We saw a double backflip. We saw a backflip triple tail whip. We saw a lot of other crazy stuff, like a flare opposite downside whip.
But definitely the triple combinations are gonna score him really high. And I hope for him, and I hope for the crowd of Brussels as well, that he can get into those finals.
There was that flare bar spin at height. Really catching height on that one. Here's that backflip triple tail whip, man. Keeping it clean this time. And you know what? The crowd always loves it when a rider gets redemption. So for him to pull it in his second run, that's really amazing. Here's that flare opposite downside whip. And let's see how the judges will score him with that little pedal slip he got.
So in the current standing, he got a 32.4 from that first run because of that pedal slip. Now, this second run, I think he's going to make it. I think he's going to score better than at 70. But that's in the hands of the judges. And it's a 79.49, putting him in that fourth spot.
Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes. Pierre Wilhelm, the French MC, he is stoked. Okay, now we're gonna go to the highlights of this third heat.
All right, that was the highlights of heat number 3. We are back as the riders of heat number 4 are warming up, and we are stoked to see what they will bring to the table, as they are our top qualifiers from yesterday. Yeah, Egon?
So if we're looking at this last heat, these are going to be the heaviest hitters from yesterday's qualification. We're talking about Kevin Perazza,
the man with the eternal smile. Doing it for Mexico. Mexico, as I should say.
Like we've seen him ride in practice, in qualification, and he's bringing a lot of that creativity to this park. Let's see what he's got up for us. 360 double downside tail whip, flare whip.
Really steezing it out as well. Yeah, there's that.
Kicking out a cancan. Oh, look at that, fully stretched out.
Yeah, 360 downside tail whip to turn down. He's got that originality. He's got that steez. He's one of those riders as well that he's respected all across the board. Skate park dudes love him.
Bunny hopping onto that section. Oh!
Yo, keeping it on. Keep on keeping on, Kevin.
Almost exiting the course.
Yeah, man. And as you can see, he smiles all the way. Like he crashed. He almost crashed, and he's keeping the smiles going.
Did he just catch a tail whip into a can-can?
Yep. That's one of his signature moves. 360 downside tail whip straight into a can-can. There was that 360 unturned down, or in table, as you might say. 270 on the hip. And yes, finishing off with something really solid.
What?
And he is the first one to hit that jersey barrier. It was without time, like out of time. But man, Kevin is such a great guy, such a legend.
I just love Kevin Peraza for foot jamming that sub rail in this semifinal.
I just got goosebumps, not because of Kevin's run, but not only because of Kevin's run, but he pointed up to the sky, and that was a Pat Casey tribute, you know. Pat Casey, one of those local legends in BMX who tragically passed away a couple of weeks ago. So that was for his homie, Pat Casey.
Looking back at that run from K-Paz. 360, stretching. And the intail, that's not you see one very often at contests.
No.
And here we have it.
Talking about original lines right there. Opposite tail whip. Oh my God. Dude, he landed on his axle with the feet.
I'm not too sure about the foot jam on the sub rail, but maybe that was just within the time limit.
Oh, yeah. What I saw was that he got the nose 360 within time, but...
We'll see what the judges have to say about that.
Yeah, Kevin. He's all love. He's also a very devout Christian, so he carries that into his work aesthetic. Really disciplined guy, but still all good vibes.
Hola a todos de Mexico.
Riding for Mongoose, Monster Energy, Van Shoes, and doing it for Team Mexico.
Okay, so he scored at 79.09, putting him in that 5th spot. So that's a very secure spot right now. Still got 5 riders coming up to get an opportunity to ride the finals here at the 3rd stop of UCI BMX Freestyle World Cup Series here at Urban Sessions. Next rider up is going to be Alec Danludi. Also for Team Australia, like they have been dominating this contest. Will he be able to make it into the finals?
Boom, 360 triple whip to start things off. Not an easy trick to start things. Double downside whip into that big bank. Yo, 360 double whip, casing a little bit, but keeping the speed going. Oh man. Just got a little bit too loose on that 360 Apo double down whip and didn't catch the pedals in time.
Let's see if this Gold Coast rider is gonna keep it going, or is this gonna be a throwaway run?
Yeah, it's gonna be a throwaway.
He's gonna conserve that energy for his 2nd run to improve and get his spot for those final 12. So right now we already have 2 Australians in the finals. So we have Logan Martin and Jay Tui at respectively 2nd and 11th spot. Now Alec is gonna need more than 71.94, which is Maren Rantesh's score. We're good. Catfish is good. Alec is good. How are you feeling at home? Are you feeling good?
You can always let us know on Twitter with the hashtag FeesWorld or on Instagram, FeesWorld, hashtag Fees, hashtag FWS 2023, hashtag BMX Freestyle WC, hashtag Brussels Urban Sessions. And Brussels Urban Sessions is the host for this UCI BMX Freestyle World Cup event.
The next rider up is going to be Zoltan Kempf, all the way from Hungary.
Yeah, solid 720 bar to start things off. Flare bar spin. Hitting a little manual down that step up backwards. Foot jam. Yeah, cool foot jam. 360 double whip. Okay, bar spin. A little bit of a tabletop in there. Didn't fully extend, but still landing clean. Casing the box a little bit. He has to pedal there.
But managed to qualify as the fourth highest scores from qualifiers yesterday.
Oh man, did you see that, Egon? He did a 360 foot jam over the big spine step down. That was amazing.
That's a very ballsy move to pull that one off.
Oh my God. Oh, dude.
Oh man.
Thank God. And you know, some of these riders, pretty much every rider out here have those cat reflexes. You gotta have that in order to get yourself out of some very difficult situations.
Yeah, like it looks like they're crashing really bad, but luckily, like Zoltan got away in a really good way, in a really safe way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and he just didn't make the full rotation on that front flip transfer, which caused him to loop out. Let's take a look at that run. 720 bar, flare bar spin.
Also in 2013, he claimed the amateur BMX world champion title at the BMX Worlds in Cologne. So he has that experience.
Yeah, and it's really cool to see that he's moved up to the pros. Oh man,
Could you
front flip to manual 180 would have been really solid.
He's okay, and he's got another run.
Yeah, and he's not bothered. He's like, okay, let's go for the next one then.
These things happen. 43.80.
And it's really nice to see him not get phased by it and just ready to move on.
Save that energy. But first up is going to be Marcus Christopher.
Marcus Christopher also has a really deep bag of tricks. He's super good at the tail whips. In Diriyah, he pulled the first 360 quad down whip in competition. As we mentioned before, Tom did one out of competition. Okay, here's that 360 triple downy to start things off.
Oh, flare no-hander, really high.
Backflip tail whip, landing perfectly on that Spox. That Spox is unforgiving because you have to land in a really steep landing, really steep transition.
Oh, 720 with a quick look back.
Backflip tuck no-hander down that spine step down.
Now at the
Extra
last
cranks
stop.
right there. Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Looking solid. Corked out 7.
Really squeaking in that spin. Oh, man, 540 flare.
Flare look back.
Like he is spinning, flipping, whipping his bike every way possible.
Oh, and he's going to that step up. What's he got? 360, flare, except down that box, and that's gonna be it for Marcus Christopher's first run. Very solid.
Very well done, Marcus.
And let's take a look. I'm not sure if they're gonna show it, but that first trick, man, that's a 360 triple downside whip.
So at
very
the
impressive.
last stop in Montpellier, he managed to get the podium, winning that bronze medal. So the current standings is really high.
Yeah, there we go, that 360 triple downside whip. In Diriyah, Saudi Arabia, he managed to do a 360 quad down whip, which is
Look at that.
otherworldly. And we're waiting for that score to come in for Marcus Christopher, the American. Catching his breath right there. And that was a really solid run. Landed everything pretty much perfect. The difficulty of tricks was there. The overall flow of the run looked really nice. So we should be anticipating for a pretty high score. And And he's anxiously looking at the board, seeing what it's going to be.
77.96, putting him in the 6th place.
Very solid score for that first run and puts him in the finals for now. Oh, and now we got this guy, Jose Torres Gil. Shout out to the cameraman who's gonna try and keep track of this dude because he's flying so high, man. You can see him up on that wall to start off, keeping the speed. Oh, yes, sir. 360 double whip transfer, 360 opposite downside whip, double downside whip, flare transfer, 360 tuck-no hander, and the camera really doesn't do justice. That was at least 4 meters up in the air.
Still, like, if you would look at Jose's run, like, he has a hidden boost button somewhere on his bike as he goes higher than any other rider in this competition.
Yeah, man, and we were talking about air miles before. This guy has, like, he's earned a couple of free flights from South America back and forth to Europe.
Jose is a frequent flyer in every competition.
Yes, sir. He's flying business class by now. Double tail whip, going backwards on that step up. 360 opposite tail whip, beautiful. Flare whip, there's that 10-second mark. Double whip over the spine. What's he got for his last trick? Downside fast plant, and that's gonna be it for the Argentinian. Argentina. Doing it for Vans, Monster, Oakley.
Also has quite a track record, winning a bronze medal at the X Games, winning gold at Simple Session.
Oh, wow.
Pan American Games. Like, this guy has been everywhere.
Yeah. And definitely the height he takes has something to do with it. Because you can see he's doing a lot of the same tricks that the guys are doing out here today, but nobody is doing it at that height. Did you see that 360 tuck-no-hander, bro? That was so good. Flare. Flare tail whip right there. And he puts up the fist. Forza.
Is he gonna claim a score to get into those finals?
Will be interesting to see because he didn't have those really groundbreaking tricks, but he did have the height, and that's something the judges always like.
There's a whole variety of riders here today in Brussels. We have very technical riders. We have just the go fast, go high kind of riders. They all have their own talents to get those points. And we have Jose with 79.28 in 5th place now.
Yeah, which secures him into a spot for the finals for now.
And now on deck we have Kieran Riley, European champion.
Here we go. 720 whip to start things off on the step up. 360 double bar down the spine, step down. Triple tail transfer. Yep. 360 whip bar spin. Tuck no hander, great extension.
Double bar spin alley-oop.
Yep. 360 triple whip. Very solid.
He has those dialed in.
And you already know he's got that double flare, so I'm excited to see if he's going to pull it down. Double whip over the spine. Keep it going, Kieran. Keep it going.
Transferring on that truck driver. Stab down spine. Ooh.
Yeah, mixing in some style in there. 360 bar spin to tabletop.
Yeah.
270 double bar.
Oh, going sideways on that hip.
Just setting up for something. Here we go. What's he got? 360 tuck no hander.
Nice extension.
And a big flare.
Ending with the flare.
So we'll see how that scores him. There was a triple tail whip air, a 360 triple tail whip in there. Those are all really big tricks, but this guy has the double flare as well. So maybe for his second run, he'll pull that out.
So that was the last rider of heat number 4 for their first runs, which means every rider has had their shot at a run right now. With just these 6 riders left to have that second run and to see who can claim those last spots into the finals. Taking a look back at the run of Kieran Riley. 1, 2, 3,
whips on that 360. 720 tweaking it.
Over the Spox, landing really smooth. 360 techno hander.
He's stretching those arms. Like I remember a time of no-handers where guys were throwing it like, you know, underneath him, and there was a whole big hassle about when is it an actual no-hander and when is it an underhander.
Yeah, but that's Nathan Williams used to do him like that, but now these techno handers are nice and extended again, and it's definitely a street thing. Oh, Kieran O'Reilly getting 3rd spot right there.
82.18 for the UK rider.
Definitely the consistency, the difficulty of tricks. That's what got him into that 80s, into those 80s. And like we said before, a score in the 80s is already really, really solid. Very seldom you'll see guys score into the 90s.
Now next up is going to be Kevin Perazza. Right now, he has claimed his seventh place in this semi-final, which means he is safe, but he will still put up a show for the crowd here in Brussels. Oh, I hope he's all right. He's laughing.
Yeah.
Okay, saluting the Brussels
So
crowd.
good, man. Even though he crashes, he's laughing. It's so amazing. Oh, he's just shaking it off. It's all good.
Like maybe he'll just like throw something in for fun. Bars. Oh, half cab whip. Bring a bit of like the street style to the scores. Also, the last couple of days he's been riding streets. Oh,
dude! And he, like, as he was speaking, he was looking at the crowd. Oh,
what?
man. Yes, sir.
Flair, flip 180 over the Brussels box. Ah, yes.
Can we say that Kevin Perazza is a world-class act, a real gentleman, a true showman?
We should protect Kevin Perazza at all costs.
Yes, sir.
Let's just look at him playing with the camera.
Yes, sir. Very nice. And as we were talking before, when a rider crashes, it's the smart thing to do, let's say, to throw away your run. But Kevin's so controlled, he's so secure. Like, he knew he wanted to do something for the crowd. And that flare, like backflip 180 over the Spox.
It's also a great way to assess how your body is reacting to that crash.
Also, yeah, also. And if you're still juiced, you're still feeling it, it's nice to keep going. I remember Kevin I think he got maybe best trick at Montpellier doing the backflip 180 to fakie over the really big box jump.
Yeah. That got him that best trick, yeah.
Yeah, and I remember seeing that footage and it going around the world.
Now we're back off to Australia. Alec Daniludi right now, unfortunately in the last spot because of a mishap on his first run, so it is redemption time.
Boom, 360 triple whip to start things off. I think that was the same way that Kieran started off his run, right?
Double downside tail whip, 360 double tail whip, back to that step up, no hander. So far so good for the Australian Alec Daniludi.
Truck driver over that spine step down. Oh, yes, sir. Flare whip transfer. Just getting some speed over that spine, pedaling.
And we're halfway that second run of Alec. If he keeps it going like this, he might have a shot to go to finals.
Alley-oop flare in, just landing a little bit low, but getting some pedals in to catch that speed. Double whip, tail whip air, techno hander. 360 bar spin, keeping it going. Another big flare transfer. Kind of like doing the same thing as before, but without the tail whip, so...
He got away safely on the landing on that Spox. And I really hope for all the Australians watching right now, if you're still awake or if you're already awake, we really hope that Alec can still make it to the finals. So for Team Australia right now, you have Logan Martin, who already made it to finals. So now we're waiting for the score for Alec Daniludi. He's gonna need that 74.88, which is Tom Van Bogaert's score.
Yeah, Tom currently ranked in 12th place. And it's gonna be really stressy for him to see if anybody's gonna overclass that score.
Like, I think for a lot of the riders on deck right now, like, they can look at the results coming in as well. They know their spot right now. So it is a hectic place to be when you're in that 12th or 11th spot, and it's the last heat of riders.
Yeah, because those last heat of riders are all the big hitters.
Look at that concentration on the screen, waiting for his point to come in. Haha, saying hi to everyone at home. We hope you enjoy watching this show here right now on the Feast live stream. We're having a blast seeing all these competitors here, all this massive talent here in Brussels today.
Yes, and the crowd is really loving it. Everybody's standing up.
74.10.
Just missing it by a couple of places. So now we're back to our Hungarian, Mr. Kempf.
Qualifying in 4th place for this semifinal. But right now he's at the bottom of the leaderboard. He's got to make up for a lot of those tricks.
Foot jamming right there.
Foot jam.
I wonder if he's gonna do that 3-foot jam again down the spine step down, because that was amazing. Yeah, getting that tabletop a little bit better that time, clicking it a little bit more.
Oh, yes, pulling that look back.
Let's see what he got. Setting up. Yeah, 360 double bar. And
hopping in that foot jam. Yes, foot jam 360 over the step down spine.
getting a little correction hop, but still pulling it. Come on, man.
Keep it pedaling, pedal to the metal.
Front flip, yes! Pulling it this time. 540 bar spin. Let's go, Zoltan. You've got 5 seconds left. What's he got?
Oh,
foot jam.
Foot jam to sub rail.
Yep.
Oh, we're loving this.
Yep. The second rider to hit that sub rail. So that will definitely earn him points for course use.
I wanted to add some more to it. Yeah, I did. It's so fast.
So this is going to be a tough one. He's going to need that 74.88.
There were some little cosmetic, like a little bit of beauty errors, but also some really big tricks. So let's see how the judges will score this.
And the differences can be really small. Like if we look at Tom van den Boogaard's score in 12th spot, that's at 74.88. And then in 13th spot, so not qualifying for finals, is Nick Bruce, and he got a 74.62. That is a meager difference of 0.16 points.
Yeah, and if you look at Tom's run, for example, compared to this one, it's different because Tom didn't really have those super, super big tricks, but he executed everything really well at height.
It's going to come down to that combination of speed, style, trick use, and 66.80, improving his first run, but unfortunately, this is the end of the run here for Zoltan Kempf. Still getting a lot of love from the crowd here in Brussels.
Yeah, these guys put it all on the line, and the crowd is recognizing that.
So we're down to our 3 last riders. Now, all of them have already secured their spot into the finals, but maybe they want to get a better seating, get a better spot in that final, because like the higher you can qualify, that means you'll be the last rider to hit the ramps at finals. Yes.
360 triple downside whip, starting off the same way he did his first run. Flare bar spin, backflip bar spin, tuck no hander, really linking everything nicely. 360 bar spin, look back. Oh, yes, sir. 720 look back. Backflip tuck no hander. You can really feel that he's putting banger after this one.
I mean, look at him pedaling.
Oh, and before I think he did a backflip bar spin tuck no hander. Now he changed it up with a helicopter, so that's a more difficult trick. Backflip 360 over the box jump, 540
flare.
Yup. Flare look back, 270 look back, and now he's cranking it up. Let's see what he's got for his last.
He's lining up for something.
360 X up, flare, and now he's got a little bit more X up, and that will do it for the American. Really solid run.
Very clean run by Marcus Christopher.
I think he will improve just a little bit because he changed it up. He didn't do the backflip bar spin tuck no hander this time, and he went for a helicopter, which is a significantly more difficult trick.
like if we look back at his former results, I mean, getting that third place at Peace Montpellier, second place at the contest in Aldiria.
Yeah, in Aldiria he did that 360 quad down whip.
540 flare.
And you'll see some of these guys wearing tooth protection guards, because if you fall face down first at the height that these guys are jumping, your teeth are at risk. And as you guys know, probably, teeth are expensive.
Teeth are very expensive. Now, is he gonna improve from the 8th spot? Because the higher you can qualify in finals, that's gonna give you a benefit in those finals, because you're gonna see all the other riders run, you're gonna see their scores, and that is gonna be like an extra for your run.
Let's see what the judges will score. Marcus Christopher's second run. Yes, sir, and he improves significantly.
Yeah, 81.39, putting him in that 5th place.
That's almost 4 points more, which is a very good improvement.
So if we're looking at the current standing, so these 12 riders are qualified for the finals. And the only thing that can happen is Jose Torres Gil or Kieran Riley getting an even higher spot. But that is up to them. In place 7 right now, Jose Torres Gil.
Yo, 360 double whip, transferring from that box jump into the step up. Big flare.
Whoa.
Yes.
Huge 360 no-hander.
Over that Spox. Switch air. Yeah.
Oh, pulling, yes.
720 whip.
720s, my God. This guy has his 720s dialed.
Yeah. And like we mentioned before, the height of everything, dude. It's insane.
Double tail whip down to step up. Getting a bit of his foot loose.
360 opposite downside whip. Flare tail whip. 10 more seconds to go. Double whip over the spine. Yes, sir.
And with the downside foot plant, ending that run.
Damn. And
getting
I feel
cheers from Brussels.
Yeah, and I feel he improved as well on his first run, just like Marcus Christopher. So
he looks glad about his run.
Yeah. He did a lot of the same stuff, but there was just some slight improvements.
Yeah, the execution was slightly better. So let's see. Right now, Jose is at 79.28 in 7th place. Just above him at 79.49 is going to be Anthony Jean-Jean. So that's just a mere difference of 0.21 points.
And there is steam coming out of these judges' ears because they have to take a lot of stuff into account. Alley-oop bar spin right there, slow-mo. So let's see, will he improve? Drum rolls. Yeah, and he does improve significantly. 83.75 puts him in 2nd place. Very well done from the Argentinian. And he merits that score because the height is out-of-worldly.
So we're back to European champion Kieran Riley. He got that title a couple of weeks ago in Gdansk, Poland at the European Championships.
And he's got that double flare in him. He's also got that triple flare in him, which he hasn't pulled in competition. Triple tail whip onto the step up, starting things off. Oh, and he's gonna call it. He's gonna call it.
He's gonna save that energy for tomorrow.
Yeah.
Fair enough by Pierre. I mean, it's been a long day already for these riders, and in this heat, in this humidity, the human body can only take that much. So he'll save the energy for tomorrow. I mean, he got that 4th spot.
Giving a big hug to Catfish.
Could be that run. They could take this one.
He said, I'll take this one.
Yeah.
Jamie Bestwick looking at the camera like, oh, you could have done a little
I
bit.
could have done one more.
So good.
Oh, Jamie Bestwick,
Yeah.
vert rider legend.
We can give a little shout out to Jamie Bestwick, the biggest legend in vert riding ever. Also one of those X Games legends. I think he's got, I don't even want to say how many medals he's got, but he's got a lot of them.
So that was the end of this semifinal at the UCI BMX Freestyle World Cup at Urban Sessions. We're going to take a final look at the results of the men. We have Justin Dowell, Jose Torres-Gil, Logan Martin, Kieran Riley, Rimo Nakamura, Marcus Christopher, Anthony Jean-Jean, Kevin Perazza, Declan Brooks, Gustavo Oliveira, Sean Gornell, and Tom van den Boogaerts. So they're gonna fight it out in the finals tomorrow here in Brussels. It's been a beautiful day, and I've hoped that you've enjoyed this live stream. Stan, it was an honor hosting this live stream with you, these semifinals.
Same to you, sir. It was a pleasure, and I'm so excited for tomorrow. So let's see what the riders will bring tomorrow. It has been a beautiful day. The semifinal women's got rained out, but the semifinal men was a banger.
Goodbye, everyone. See you at the finals.